Hello everyone, Tim Gaming, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you another one of my Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplays. Now today's gameplay, as you can see here, is a multi-team hardpoint gameplay on the map Cargo, and I'm using the FAL, and I'm using it with a target finder and a stock, and my perk setup is Hardline, Toughness and Scavenger in perk 2, so I'm obviously using the wild card, and Dexterity as my perk 3 choice. Now this is a really good gameplay, and you know, I had a great day's revising. I got up early, I went into university, got a decent amount of work done. I came back and thought, you know what, I might as well do a commentary. I've done well, I'll reward myself with a little bit of Call of Duty. And this game is a pretty good reward because I end up going absolutely beast mode in this, smashing the enemy team. I'm not going to spoil the final score for you just yet, but it is pretty high, so it's a great gameplay to watch in the background. And you know, this gives me another opportunity to talk about Hardpoint, talk about the map, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here, because Cargo is a map that, you know, in my opinion, is a bit of a mid-tier map. And what I mean by that is, you know, the top tier of map, the sort of the slums, the standoff, you know, those are the best maps in the game, the maps that everyone likes and plays a lot. And then at the bottom of the hill, you've got the drones and the aftermaths, which are just horrendous maps. I mean, Aftermath is a disgusting map. It takes you about 50 seconds to get to a hard point. So if you spawn on the other side of the map and the hard point's on the other side of the map, there's no point. Don't even try. Because by the time you've traversed the entire map and got to the objective zone has changed. Then you have to turn around and spend another 20 minutes walking all the way to the next hard point, and then it moves, and then you have to spend the next 20 minutes walking all the way to the next hard point, and so on and so forth. And I really have no idea why the makers of Call of Duty, and both Treyarch and Infinity Ward fall foul of this trap every now and again. They always seem to like to put 2 or 3 huge maps in the game, and this isn't Battlefield 3, you know, we can't just hop on the back of a buggy or get into a helicopter to fly around. We have to spend all of our time running around the place, and when the map is that big, it makes the gameplay so slow and tedious, it's just awful. So please, please, please stop making these horrible, massive maps. No one enjoys them, they're badly designed, just please stop doing it, because you make loads of great maps. And I'd rather play maps which are great than maps which are shoddy, but Cargo sort of falls in the middle of this. It's not a bad map by any stretch of the imagination. I quite enjoy playing it. You know, I've got several class setups that I like to run on this, and I always do reasonably well on it. But it isn't that sort of map, you know, the slums or the standoff, the 2 examples I mentioned earlier, which you passionately like. And it's like, yes, standoffs in the rotation. I really like that. I want to play it. So in this sort of situation where you're going to play a map that you're not too sure about, you haven't played a lot of, or you're playing a new game mode on a map, what I like to do is run a non-lethal kill streak setup. And you can see at the bottom right hand side of the screen my score streaks. I'll use the right term because it's a different Call of Duty. My score streaks are UAV, counter UAV, orbital VSAT, and these streaks go very well with that map uncertainty that I mentioned earlier, because if you're playing a map that you have no idea what's going on, that UAV and that VSAT will really help you out, because they'll show where the enemy are, they'll enable you to understand the traffic flows better and the spawn locations. And in a game mode like Hardpoint, those really are the 2 key things you need to get nailed down as early as you can, because if you're not sure where the enemy's spawning, if you're not sure where the gunfight's going to be, you're going to get surprised a lot, and you're going to die more often, and you're going to lose map control as a result. And Hardpoint, of all the game modes, I think, is all about map control, because the key to doing well in Hardpoint is the transition. Because any moron can go on a Hardpoint and sit still for 60 seconds, you know, that's not a problem at all. The real skill to Hardpoint comes from smoothly transitioning from the hardpoint you're currently controlling to the one that you're going to be running to next. And this is the tricky thing with Hardpoint. And, you know, in some instances we do it very well. In this instance right here, we do it pretty badly. And we're both sitting around. I'm reluctant to move here because I'm right by a VSAT and I know this guy's coming, so I'm waiting for him. Managed to get the VSAT, but as a result, we slow the transition down. And this is the real skill to Hardpoint. Now, the benefit of a map like Cargo is there's only 3 hardpoint locations for you to remember. There's top orange and top blue. Top blue is where I am now. Top orange is the set of crates right opposite, which are beautifully orange coloured, where I'm looking at the moment. And then office on the left-hand side. And it just does a rotation between the 3. So there's really no excuse for not getting those locations nailed down as early as possible. And if you can transition effectively and quickly, you're going to have a lot more success in game modes like Hardpoint, because The real problem with Hardpoint is that initial 10 or 15 seconds after the hardpoint's changed, because it's a little bit chaotic. If you've been sitting in a hardpoint for 30, 40 seconds, chances are you're nicely set up, you've got your teammates looking at all the different directions, you're not going to be surprised. In that, the last 5 seconds of the previous hardpoint and the first 10 or 15 seconds of the next one, that is when the hardpoint really gets decided for the next 60 seconds. Because if you get the jump on your opponents, if you manage to get 2 or 3 teammates there to lock that hard point down, you are pretty much guaranteed a full 60-second score. And the key to this is understanding when and when not to push. If you're, say, 15 seconds away from a new hardpoint coming up, there is absolutely no point pushing the existing hardpoint. Because even if you go swimmingly, even if you one-shot all 3 guys with your R rate and capture the hardpoint, you're only going to get 10 points worth. And the problem is, you've just killed 3 guys on the hardpoint who are now going to spawn in, and the chances are they're going to spawn closer to the next one. So it really is counterproductive pushing hard points when there's not much time on the clock. And this is one thing we do better than the transitionist gameplay. Sometimes we're sitting in the hard point. For example, in this one here, I'm running around. There's only a couple of enemies there, but I get scared by a claymore. I have to back off because I'm hurt. That guy surprises me, then I get flashed and I can't do anything. And I'm looking for a guy here because he was on the radar and he's ran round, and I get confused. And then I'm waiting for my teammate to come in, and I get flashed again and shot. And hard points like this, you're just having a disaster. And to add to my woes, I actually make a prediction error here. I think the hardpoint is going to move to top blue next, so hence why I come here to try and lock it down nice and early. But actually, it goes to top orange. But this is the right idea, because we lost that initial battle for the hardpoint. As you can see in the top left, there is not much time left on it, and we are pushing the hardpoint at the wrong time. My 2 teammates are now on the hardpoint when it's about to move, so we're going to get at most 15 points, which, yeah, it's nice, but it's not really a lot. As you can see on the other side of the map, that team is set up hard on that hard point. And this is what we should have done, because we realise we've made a bit of a mistake and we react. And as you can see there, we managed to contest and we managed to quickly capture it back. But the problem is we're not set up at all. So the next wave of the enemies come in and they contest the hard point, so we're not getting any points for this, and then it needs me to come in again to clear out the second wave, and one teammate's already died, and we waste a lightning strike to clear the hard point, and you begin to see here how the errors compound each other. Now, this is only a very, very small thing. We transitioned late and then we pushed the wrong hard point, but you begin to see how all of these tiny errors have a knock-on effect in hard point. And it gets to the point here where I'm very, very isolated from the rest of my team. I don't want to go charging off and just climb up there because I know I'm going to die. So I'm trying to wait for teammate support. But because we ballsed up the transition and we pushed the hard point at the wrong time, we are struggling. But the good thing is here, we get ourselves together. We realise, right, now's not a good time to push. I go and act to try and delay the enemy team from getting here while my 2 teammates go to the next hard point and try and take it. And we end up taking this one much earlier, and as you can see here, look how much better setup we are. We've got one guy on the hard point, I'm watching the front, we've got a guy around the street at the back to make sure they can't flank us, and all of a sudden we're set up so nicely. And look at the points begin to roll in now. We're getting point after point after point, just because we had a little bit of patience and common sense. We waited, and then we attacked at the right time. And as you can see there, theatre mode had another little bit of a problem. It deleted 5 seconds of footage for no apparent reason, so hopefully theatre mode sorts that out. But you begin to understand the correct way to play hardpoint now, especially in multi-team, because when you've got 6 good players against 6 average players, which you will do if you're running with a full party, it doesn't matter if you're a little bit scrappy, because you've got the gunfire and you've got the ability just to go and storm and smash them off the hard point. When you're playing multi-team in that 3 versus 6 situation, which is basically what it is, you've got to be a lot more nailed on with your transitions, because if you're even 5-6 seconds late in that transition, you can really screw yourself over. Now, fortunately, the few small errors we made in this gameplay didn't cost us, because we just outslayed the opponents absolutely mentally. And the final score in this game, to spoil it for you now, is 59-5, which I think is a pretty good gameplay, only using non-lethal streaks in an objective mode like this. And I get like 14-15 defense, something around there, so I'm playing nice and aggressively, getting on the objective, and we turn it into a pretty comfortable win. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you've enjoyed watching the game on Cargo, because Cargo is a map that doesn't really get too much love, but it's a map I quite enjoy playing. It's a nice balanced map. You can use a lot of weapons on it, and as you can see here, if you play Hardpoint on this map effectively, you can get easy wins and really big scores. So guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day.